shows me I have RF connectivity.
The second one.
Enjoy wearing them white khakis?
One, two, three. One, two, three. One, two, three.
start calling them down there. You need to cover Cam's side and Cam on mine. Steady.
I'm still holding on. I was like,
Yeah, we have a railing back.
Gatorade with caffeine.
Or it might have been.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sandwich Fair here for the session number 3 competition here tonight. As we have brought in once again the best of the NTPA Grand National Competition. My name is Dan Merrill. We're joined by Charles Posch. We've also got Mark on hand here tonight as well. Gentlemen, good evening.
This is it, fans. This is a most brutal day in the sport. Culminates now. The chance to get it to the early pull-off next week. One class is already decided, but 3 others. The bottom spot remains open.
Yeah, we saw some great competition here this afternoon, Thursday night. How many of you fans were here this afternoon? Let's by a show of hands. How many were here this afternoon? All right, well, welcome back. And we have got just another outstanding program here tonight. Now, Mark, we got some local folks we got to thank as well.
Hey, I want to bring your attention to the signage up and down the track on both sides. Test. All right. I want to bring attention to the tracks, the signage on both sides of the tracks. Those are our local sponsors. They're a big part of us being able to put on this tractor pull today. So when you see these folks as you go out in the community the rest of the year, say hi, say thank you, tell them you greatly appreciate being here, and they're a big part of what we do tonight, so thank them.
Yeah, absolutely, and of course, without those fine folks not able to put on the program we got here tonight. Now, of course, we've got some major implications as far as the points go. All 4 classes you're going to see here tonight, fans. They have been battling out all summer long. We started in Hutchinson, Minnesota back in the early part of June, and here we are in the second week of September in championships on the line.
You can see it in everybody's face if you were walking around the pit area. They knew what it meant to be here this weekend and try for that chance and put themselves in a good position for a championship. If you were watching this afternoon here on the track, you could see the guys letting it all hang. Had some pretty catastrophic consequences for doing so.
Yeah, unfortunately, fans, we did lose about a handful of competitors from this afternoon's competition, but don't fret. We have still got more than enough equipment back there to put on just an action-packed, power-packed show here tonight.
Yep. Just everything that they could come up with. Trying some fixes. Some are trying half measures. Anything that will get them on this dirt tonight, they're trying it.
Yeah, and for the first time, we're all going into next weekend. The Enderley pull-off. Now, the Enderley pull-off, since its inception back in 1987, has just been a money pull. Everybody is kind of just a bonus money pull out there. Now it's for points and championships.
Yes, and there are, I think all of them mathematically are up for grabs. Nothing is locked up yet, so it's this weekend for our season finale.
So once again, fans, we're going to get things rolling here tonight. Some of the best competition you will see on these pulling tracks here tonight. And Scott Frieders, this track, once again, his track crew, they have done just a marvelous job all weekend long.
Well, fans, we're at that time of the evening. Before we begin, we like to pay a little bit of respect and a little bit of honor to our great nation. And before we do so, I'd like to ask anybody who is an active duty in the United States Armed Forces or a veteran to please stand up. A law enforcement officer, firefighter, EMT, or first responder, would you also please stand? The men and women around you who are standing are the people who give up weekends like this. They miss family gatherings. They answer phone calls, we don't. They handle things, we do not. They see things, we should not. From each and every one of us sitting to each and every one of you standing, a very sincere thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'll send things over for our national anthem. Please stand if you are able, as we've got Dave Hansen to sing our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, nice round of applause for Dave Hansen. And ladies and gentlemen, at this time, are you guys ready to pull some tractors tonight? Come on, Sandwich, you guys can do a lot better than that. You guys ready to pull tractors here tonight? That's it. That's what we like to hear. Welcome to the 2025 Sandwich Tractor and Truck Pull here at the Sandwich Fair. And we are just about ready to get things rolling here tonight. We'll start over here on the infield side. We will have the thundering 10,000-pound Pro Stock tractors. Over on the grandstand side will be the 9,300-pound Super Farm tractors to get us rolling here tonight. And it should be a spectacular show as we'll get things rolling here in just a second. We got our first Super Farm rolling out, and looks like we'll have our first Pro Stock making its way to the weight transfer machine here very shortly. All right, so just like that, we see the Wolverine Deer making its way to the start line here out of Allendale, Michigan, as Tony Seatsmo will be our test puller over on the 9,300-pound Super Farm track. Once again, we got about, 17 entries over on the Super Farm side. Should be a great class. We saw a great class this afternoon. Lee Butts took the victory, and we'll see if he can double up here tonight as our winner from this afternoon. So once again, fans, we'll be the only one in this class that will have the option to take or turn down his run. We give him this option simply because He hasn't seen anybody else go down the track. So 9,300-pound Super Farms, you're looking about 1,800 horsepower out of these tractors. They'll run a 640 cubic inch, one turbocharger underneath the hood, 3 inches in, 3 inches out. A very, very popular class. All right, where's our John Deere fans?
Right down Main Street, straight as you please, for Tony Sietsema.
All right, fans, over on the Pro Stock side, test puller should be Essen Lemke out of Helensville, Wisconsin, the new Generation Plus. And we'll wait for him to make his way out on the track here as we'll get the numbers in here for Tony Sietsema.
319.305 for the Wolverine Deer, 319.305. And Tony will turn that run down. He will drop to the bottom of the order. So no lead mark set yet in this 17 tractor Super Farm.
All right, fans, so here tonight we talked about we've got national championship complications on hand here tonight. We've also got that Enderley pull-off, and we're going to be following both of those points here as we, of course, bring all the action here tonight here on Full Pull Live. We are live to the world, and would like to say this afternoon hello to everybody watching throughout the world here on Full Pull Live. Of course, Dan Mayer, Charles Posch, and Mark Tuttle going to be down here trackside bringing you all the action here tonight. As we're waiting for our first Pro Stock to make its way to the start line, we started here with the Super Farm tractors, the High Torque Super Farms over there on the grandstand side. We'll have the Yoder Popcorn 10,000-pound Pro Stocks over here on the infield track. And Charles, what's interesting this afternoon, we're on opposite. We flip-flopped everybody and kind of thrown everybody a curveball.
Yep, swapped sides, and on top of that, flipped the class orders as well. So they're not in the same order even that they were in earlier today. So a little bit of a new look for everyone as we bring out Ben Shandor out of Hopkins, Michigan. The risky business tractor came out of the Slama stables, and they've been running it a lot on the Region 2 tour and showed up here to mix it up on the Grand National level. Haven't hit all the GNs by any stretch of the imagination, but out here tonight.
Yeah, Charles, one of 9 of Super Farms coming out of the Wolverine state of Michigan. And we talked about that a little bit this afternoon. Michigan, of course, a hotbed for Super Farm pullers. Also Wisconsin up there as far as per quota of Super Farm tractors in the nation.
Yeah, as it happens, it looks like out of our first 7 of our first 8 are all Michigan tractors in this class.
So fans buy the luck of the draw. Of course, pulling order is determined by the luck of the draw. Lowest number goes first, so on and so forth. And you know, Charles, sometimes that early number can help you. Sometimes it can hurt you. But, you know, as we talked about it, it averages out throughout the season.
It does. It'll go like that. And these guys know that going in. Ben is, I believe, everybody knows the name Jim Shandorf, who ran a diesel super stock and mini for so many years. Ben is, I believe, Jim's nephew, is how that might be right, or second cousin, one or the other, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and the Shandorf family has gained another Pro Stock, green Pro Stock as well.
Yep. Boy, a lot of blow by at the end of that run. I don't know. The rings may be a little tired.
Well, a full summer of pulling, and really that's the second time here today we've seen that tractor pull hard to the right side.
Yeah, and in the Pro Stock class this afternoon, that track was doing that. Was wanting to throw guys at that line. Yeah, the way that it's puffing there, I kind of think he's got a hurt piston in the risky business.
All right, fans, over on the Pro Stock side, we got our test puller, Essen Lemke, out of Helensville, Wisconsin. That new Generation Plus going to get us started. 10,000-pound Pro Stock, 680 cubic inches, unlimited on the turbo size, and they're cranking them about 5,000 horsepower nowadays. Just incredible.
Tremendous what they're able to do. The Lemkes are builders of these kinds of engines. They know what they're up to. He is, right off the bat, the number 6 guy on the outside looking in. 9 markers behind Eli Brown, who comes up 2 hooks from now.
All right, fans, so we will see what Essen's got for us. Of course, the big $50,000 winner earlier this year in Farley, Iowa. Now decision time for Essen Lemke, as he will, well, either A, take that run, or B, turn it down and come back later in the field. And he has to give that finish line official that decision before he makes his way away from that sled. So we'll take a look here on the replay board. A good run there for Essen. We got that front end up in the air. Gets that transfer back to those rear tires. And 3:41.18 to get us started here this afternoon.
He wasn't going to quit on it either. He burned it in knowing he had to do it.
Yeah, looking over at that sideline. I was just going to say, I was going to have to say he was going to take that run there because didn't touch the brake really at all on that run. So 3:41 and change will be the distance. So 3:41 will get us started over on the Pro Stock side.
In High Torque Super Farm, Brooke Hartley Ferris out of Addison, Michigan, the assorted nuts machine, had been the points leader wire to wire on the season until this afternoon. Gary Shavink went around him to take over the top spot. But right now, as it sits, the assorted nuts mathematically not locked in yet to the Enderley, but all he's got to do is beat 2 guys, and he's going to get there. For Lee Butts and Ryan Anderson and the team of Lamore and Bush, they are going to sort things out toward the bottom of that Super Farm order here. Side-to-side action there for Brooke Ferris. True case power under the hood of the 2294 there. It's not an IH, it's not a DT in there. It's the real deal.
All right, fans, back over Pro Stock side. We've got the Massey Ferguson out of Arthur, Illinois. Travis Kuhn going to do the driving here this afternoon. The Trailblazer V8 Perkins underneath the hood of this tractor. Made a nice run this afternoon. Not a lot of turnaround time for these competitors. We went back in the pit area pretty much right after the show ended this afternoon, and right away everybody went to work. We saw a lot of oil being changed, cooling things down, everybody checking things over. So, like you said earlier, Charles, one of the toughest days in pulling right here in Sandwich.
Some of those pit areas, things were a little bit tense, shall we say, as tools were flying around and a lot of work going on. In Kears's pit, not so much. They just had the covers off everything, gently wiping stuff down, no sense of urgency about it.
All right, fans, so our Lone Massey in our class of Pro Stocks here tonight. Of course, Travis Kuhn, a second-generation puller. Dad Danny Kuhn's for so many years running on that ITPA circuit right here in the state of Illinois. Dad at the start line there. He'll give a fist bump, walk away, and here we go. It's up to Travis now. Right now, the mark to beat, 3:41 and change. He's going to move that sled way over here on the left side. Every puller has that option where you put that sled between the white lines. There's a cone behind the sled. course, that starting line area starts to tear up as we get ready to hear the Perkins come to life. Gotta love the sound of the Perkins power right there, fans. Let's give a nice round of applause. Travis Coons, Arthur, Illinois. And that Massey's going to be close.
On the Super Farm side, green flags are going to go up for the Gunsmoke out of Waterford, Wisconsin, but Brandon Coates has assumed driving duties in place of Brian Gunderson tonight. While Coach was coming down the track on the other side, Coons was trying to drive away, and we could have roasted some marshmallows out here for a good 30 seconds there.
All right, fans, so 3:38 and 20 will be the distance here for Travis Coons. Just shy of that number one spot here, 3:41 and change. The mark to beat, you'll notice that marker over here on the left side of the track, that Yoder Popcorn lead distance marker down there. And of course, in pulling, we measure to the front of the sled. It's not actually the pulling vehicle. So you can see on his run right there, just short of that 3:41.18, that needs to take over that number one spot here in Pro Stock.
Hey, we want to thank these fine equipment sponsors for tonight's poll. Alta Equipment, Eltorfer, your local cat equipment dealer, Atlas Cranes. Thanks to Berg Farms. We want to thank Scott Frieders and all the guys out here running the equipment. Casey Equipment, Everett and Wim Vandermeer. We want to thank Frieders Builders. Thanks to Jackson Transport for getting it here. McCann Industries, your local case construction dealer. Midwest Access Solutions, Sunbelt Rentals, the folks at Westside Tractor, and Y-Tech Excavating. Thanks for sponsoring tonight's equipment.
Brandon Coates goes 3:24.92 with a 5, 3:24.92.5.
All right, fans, Pro Stock side, back to the John Deere. Elijah Brown, Clay, Kentucky, green with envy. We just saw Dad Denny up in the seat there, and he said, hey, telling Elijah a couple last-minute things before he sends him loose here tonight. Nice run for this team this afternoon, and fought their way back into that Enderley pull-off, currently sitting number 5. And we'll see what they can lay down here tonight. First year running the Grand National Circuit. Denny Brown and his boys, and they have done just a spectacular job all summer long. We're still looking for that elusive first Grand National win. And we'll see what they got for us here tonight.
I got to feel it's getting close. They're due.
Man, a lot of ground speed right there, Elijah Brown. I think he had to touch that brake maybe once, maybe twice there to correct that tractor. As we saw it head on coming at us, it looked like it wanted to go to that left side.
If he can come up with a lead distance right here, that will ensure that he goes to the Enderley.
Yeah, right, because he's battling with Esden Lemke right now. They're 5 and 6. And we can see here on the replay, look at the balance on that tractor. But right there, had to make a little correction, 3:32.47. Now, the problem with that is there's quite a bit of area between that and 3:41 right now. So 3:32.47 for Elijah Brown will put him in that number 3 spot here in Pro Stock.
9 points that Esden Lemke needs to make up on green with MD, but mathematically it is not over. There's still plenty of time. Dan Schulte, the Binder Express. Very nice ride for that IH out of Dyersville, Iowa, and that run will do it. That Binder Express can plan on going to the Underley next week.
So get your tickets to Urbana, Ohio for next week for the team out of Northeast Iowa. Great run this afternoon. Had a little bit of trouble there. Kind of lost a little bit of ground in that points race. But made up for it here tonight. A nice run.
And he'll be the new leader, 3:30.09 for the Binder Express, 3:30.09. Looking for more horsepower with less hassle? Apex Turbo's fastener-free technology is trusted by competitors globally and proven at NTPA events since 2020. Their custom turbos are built for speed and reliability. Apex Turbo.
All right, fans, Pro Stock side. We'll take a look at our first international in the class as we've got that Red Gambler, New Palestine, Indiana. Timmy Kane, International 1066, team just east of the Indianapolis area. 2009 Grand National champion. And what a summer it's been for Tim. Has a couple Grand National wins this summer, but when you look at the events that did not win, was down in the standings a little bit, had some breakage early on in the season. So he's been fighting and clawing his way up.
He's going to try something today. He made a change of shoes, so to speak, this afternoon. Those rear tires are brand new Mitas, 68 lugs that he bolted on after this afternoon session.
All right, so you can see right there on the screen the Mitas tires on the back. Going to move that sled back over here to the middle part of the track as well. We've seen the last couple tractors working over there on the left side. And Timmy Kane going to move it back here towards the middle.
And look, we've got an interested spectator at the wall. Esden Lemke just came in and kneeled down.
Well, we get approval there on the sideline from Esden. He gives it a clap or two, so good run. As you can see over on the sideline camera, just shy of that 341.18 and put him right there in the mix. So a good run here for Tim Kane, the Red Gambler. And yeah, 339.64. We'll put him number 2 right now. Good run. So 339 and 64 will put Tim Kane in that number 2 spot. As we've got, once again, 14 tractors in this class.
High Torque Super Farm side, we're going to go orange. Shane Maston out of Niles, Michigan. The Thumpin' Pumpkin. Going to go off left and center here.
Shane's kind of been on a hot streak here as of late with that Thumpin' Pumpkin tractor. Now, normally he runs with an intercooler on this tractor, takes the intercooler off, runs on the NTPA circuit. And, you lose a little bit of horsepower, but this tractor really hasn't lost any advantage out there. It's been running hot.
Responds every which way they try to run it. They're one of the few guys that will go back and forth on a regular basis. Let's see where the Thumpin' Pumpkin lands. Oh, new number 1, 334.295. We're building the road there, I think.
Yeah, looking to build on that number 2 this afternoon, and he is going to do it in a big way as we've got a new leader, and it's orange.
Orange 1.
All right, fans over on the Pro Stock side, Brandon Simon, Loud and Heavy X. First to 2 tractor, he's going to be running here this afternoon. Brandon will also be in the Loud and Heavy. Brent Meyer as well, but right now it's his own tractor, the Loud and Heavy X. As you can see the point standings right now in that number 2 spot. Pretty well content, going to be Well, it's going to end up in that number 2 spot. Not going to be able to gain enough here tonight to take over that. But Brandon Simon, nice summer. Of course, Grand National Modified Champion, looking to wrap that up here tonight. But right now, number 2 in Pro Stock competition. Everybody chase it, as did Lemke. That tractor out of Wisconsin leading the way at 3:41.18. Here comes Loud and Heavy X. He moved that sled over to the right side. Brandon heading down the track full head of steam, and we will see where that will put him. Excellent run for Brandon Simon. Hook number 5 out of our 14 here tonight in Pro Stock. As we get a little bit of Mother Nature giving us a little sun here as she starts to set in the west.
Yeah, I put away my sunglasses, and now all of a sudden I'm going to get blinded here. We're joined up here by a modified competitor and one of our sponsors of the NTPA, Les Corporal, Modern Machine. How are you tonight, sir?
Well, I wish I was better, but this afternoon we found a motor's broke, so we're not going to run tonight.
Oh, no, that's not how I wanted to start this conversation.
Yeah, I had the same situation in Canton last week pulling light mod, and Doug Theobald was good enough to loan me a motor that was on the tired side, and I guess it was more tired than we thought it was.
Oh, boy, that's no fun. But on the good side, you've got a good team behind you, plenty of people back at the shop producing machinery like this that we're seeing out here on the track.
Yeah, I've got a great crew back at the shop. We'll go home this week and put the third motor up in the front hole and go to the Enderley next week. That was our goal all along. But yeah, we built a lot of modified mini rods, 2-wheel drives for a lot of competitors. So if you're looking for something, give us a holler.
Besides just the rolling chassis, though, there are components and parts that you guys produce as well, correct? You got a machining side?
Yes. On the industrial side, we actually have 25 machinists, and we do a lot of industrial work. We are very good at aluminum extrusion work. So if anybody's out there looking for somebody to do that kind of work, we're really good. But we'll quote anything. We'll do anything. We're what you would call a job shop. We have 27 pieces of CNC equipment. So, yeah, we can handle almost anything.
Let's go down to Stan Warda, and then we'll come back to you, Les. Nice ride right down Main Street for the Hammer and Hank International coming out of Niles, Michigan. Berrien Springs, same corner of the state. Good run for him. You guys have really made a name for yourself in modifieds, 2-wheel drives, and minis. Is there anything that you guys are maybe looking at that you've never done before that would be kind of an interesting project to work on?
Well, we have a couple right now. We are actually building a light modified to go to the Netherlands.
Okay.
So we have just started that. But yes, we've got a component Pro Stock tractor to build this winter, and we're kind of looking to get more into the component side, especially if they end up componenting the light Pro Stock class. We'd like to do that.
There would be a need for that. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we're definitely interested in that.
How do people get a hold of you? Where do they find you?
We have a Facebook page, Modern Machine and Tool Motorsports. You can Google us. We're 765-934-3110. So yeah, just look us up. We have a pretty good footprint on social media and stuff. So I think we're pretty easy to find.
There you go. Successful season so far. You got one more week to go.
Yeah, we've won that light mod Enderley 2 times in a row. So I'm really wanting to try to win it 3 times. I'm a little greedy, but hey, that's why we're doing this. So yeah, that's what we're shooting for next weekend.
Thank you for stopping by and visiting with us. Les Corporal Punishment, and Modern Machine.
All right, fans. So James Ray on the start line, the Mac Nasty out of Beloit, Ohio. That Mac trailer sponsored. Of course, James going to be doing the driving, both tractors. And we saw him this afternoon. 3 in a row for James. He's been on a hot streak here. He swept the events last week in Canton, Ohio, and coming out here this afternoon. Let's see if he can do it again. 3:41.18, the mark to beat. As we get ready for Mac Nasty. starting to pile them up here right about that 340-foot mark. Now, our last tractor that ran over here pro stock side, Brandon Simon, he went 340 and 50 for the number 2 spot. 340 and 50 for that number 2 spot. So 337 and 41 will be the distance here for James Ray for that number 5 spot. So 337 and 41. We'll see him come back a little bit later on with the Mac Daddy tractor.
326.81 the numbers on Stan Ward. 326.81 as Greg Fries, the Deer Tracks out of Manchester, Tennessee, gets ready to go. Another one, right? Going to be right in there, that around 330 or so.
Yeah, good run for the Deer Tracks this afternoon. Finished up number 3, got a podium finish. And really, we kind of talked about that. We touched on that this afternoon. We haven't seen this tractor back where it, has normally been the last how many years. But this afternoon, we saw some shades of brilliance. Let's see if they can keep it going here tonight.
Oh, they sure can. 342.82, your new leader. 342 and 82. Perhaps you're going to fire up that old Ford 2N, 8N, or 9N tractor. Perhaps a Minas Moline or an Alice Chalmers until the back 40. Keep high torque starters in mind should you need a replacement starter. These are new Denso products designed by IMI Performance to replace some of these old and difficult to locate or rebuild applications. Give us a call at 888-2-HIGH-TORQUE, 888-244-8675, High Torque Starters.
All right, fans, Case International MX225 out of Southwest Iowa. Robbie Russell out of Prescott, Iowa, the workhorse. As he backs in here, working that little bit right of center spot on the track. We've been moving all over all evening long, trying to find that best possible place to start from. And Robbie Russell says, hey, right here is where we're going to go. Once again, all chasing our number 1 hook in this class, Esden Lemke at 341.18. As Esden trying to make his way into the Enderley here tonight. And right now it's looking pretty good for him. Of course, you got that crafty veteran, Robbie Russell, sitting on the start line. You just never know. What do you think, International fans? Did he do it? This is going to be close. Take a look at the replay board.
You called that one, Dan. He's right in there.
Right at the mark. Now, Robbie kind of cross-tracking it out there. Started right of center, moved it over to the left side. Not sure if that was by design, but we'll find out right here. Yeah, it looked like it was pretty much to go that direction. And fans, we got a new leader, 347.04, Robbie Russell into that number 1 spot. Great run.
Backing into place, left of center. On the grandstand side, Gary Shavink out of Reedsburg, Wisconsin. The new attitude took over the points lead this afternoon. And no matter what happens on this pass, he has already punched his ticket to get to the Enderley pull-off.
Well, there we take a look at the leaderboard currently. Pro stock class is everybody now going to chase Robbie Russell at 347.04. There's a look at the current points for the Super Farm class. And as you said, Gary Shavink, boy, he has been running like a madman here these last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, started with Bowling Green. He just went on an absolute tear and take himself right to the top of the points order. See if he's got another one stored up in that 1466 of his. Very good ride for Gary, but early in that run, I briefly had my doubts. I don't know if he slipped on the throttle handle or was just giving it the old Tim Engler pump the throttle there to get it hooked up.
I was thinking the same thing, the old double pump right there, and maybe we'll call it the Chevink double pump here from now on. But
337.085, number 2, 337.085.
All right, back pro stock side, Brandon Simon, the loud and heavy, Farley, Iowa. This is the second of the deers we see in Brandon doing the driving here tonight. Of course, for good buddy Brent Meyer. Brent not on hand here tonight, so Brandon tapped to do the driving. No big deal because he's won on this tractor before. Looked like trying to follow in the groove there. We just saw Robbie Russell take over that number 1 spot, but we saw the loud and heavy kind of drifted to that left side a little quicker, I think, than Brandon wanted out there.
Yeah, I think some correction had to go in, a little bit of brake pedal that he did not want to have to apply, but had no choice.
So 329 and 78 fans will be the distance. 329 and 78 will be the distance here tonight. And we'll put Brandon back at that number 8 spot here currently.
John Silsby out of Union City, Michigan, the crop doctor, the next tractor to go up here on the high torque super farm side. Tractor has a new look in 2025. They got it rewrapped by some old pulling friends in Michigan who now do that on the side. Event promoter at Fremont, part of the Region 2 circuit there. Tractor so named because he does have an ag consulting business. He literally is a crop doctor by trade. Good looking machine. Beautiful wrap job that they got done for this year.
Yeah, another one of our former Grand National champions, and they are just littered throughout both of these classes. You are watching early on here tonight, fans. Of course, Super Farms over on the grandstand side. Pro Stocks over here on the infield. Putting on a show here in Sandwich, session number 3.
The crop doctor in its new clothes, courtesy of the Gillilands. Let's see what he's got. Another one right in there. Steady and straight as you please. Wheels up just a little bit. Dangle him the way that he wants. Right to number 2, 340.535. 340.535.
Once again, fans, we got to give a shout out to our X Factor sleds here tonight, the Bungart family, owner and operator of the sleds we're using here tonight, Brandon Bungart over here on the infield side, the green sled. He's the operator for that one. And then we've got Eddie Walker over there on the grandstand side operating that orange sled over there. And they have done a great job here all weekend long here at the Sandwich Fair.
Repairs on the front of the Schrammich tractor. They had the lid come off, and the orange piece that's supposed to be there went flying at the end of the run. Ice went everywhere. And now we're just going to use the old bungee cord to hold that lid down.
Yeah, We saw Dan Dennis taking one final look there, making sure it's clipped and ready to go.
He had a little bit of a smile on his face as he was talking to Laura about it.
So former Grand National Champion right here, Brian Schrammick, Williamsburg, Missouri. That's about halfway between the St. Louis and Kansas City areas. Big farming operation out there in Williamsburg. Over 30,000 acres these guys use and operate out there with the farm. And the young blood, pro stock, ready to go to work here tonight. Working once again that right side of the track.
Get some young blood right there. Young fan watching. Boy, they have that thing ratchet strapped. Their cooler is wounded. There is no doubt. This is going to be interesting. Will it hold?
Yeah, hoping to make one more pass with it. You fans saw up on the big screen. Another great multi-generational family here. Braden Schrammick not on hand here this weekend. Just Dad Dennis and son Brian. Grandson back home in Williamsburg, Missouri. An Airbnb operation runs out there. So we're getting down to it. Hook number 10 out of our 14 here tonight in Pro Stock competition. Let's see what the orange one's got for us. We got any orange fans out there? Where are you? All right.
Boost pressure going into that tank, spraying ice over everywhere. We knew it would do it with the damage to that core.
Yeah, you could see the trail up on the big screen, fans, all the ice cubes out there, but unfortunately not what they were looking for here tonight, just trying to make a pass.
Ryan Anderson out of Hoopston, Illinois. The green galvanized stairs checking out machine, taking care of business right there. He is number 4 in points heading into this session, but he has to be careful. He's only 1 point clear of the bump spot to make it to the Enderley. He had to lay down a run here.
And of course, Ryan, a great streak here going into this afternoon here in Sandwich. Had won 5 in a row and would like to start a new one here tonight. First, we'll take a look here at Brian Schrammick's run with the Youngblood Pro. And you can see throwing all that ice and ice cubes out onto the track. So 282 and 02 will be the distance. 282 and 02. And will be a disqualification there for excessive water on the track.
Hey, and we want to thank A&B Exteriors, All-American Door, Brown Seal Coating, Corey Johnson from Corey Johnson Trenching, Crow's Auto Repair, Dave Septic, DeKalb Seed, thanks to Dunn Family Funeral Home, Fee Soil, thanks to Mike, FNBO, Granco FS, the Fuel Division, thanks to Heartland Bank, Hollenbeck Construction, Leeward Energy, and the folks over to Meadowville Ice Cream. Thanks for your support.
Ryan Anderson will go 3:45.02 to be your new leader. 3:45.02.
Well, pulling fans want to win some cash tonight. Play full pull picks. With classic picks and head-to-head, you can bet on your favorite pullers and score big. First bet is covered, and when you deposit, we'll give you $5. Download the app or visit fullpullpicks.com now. And to get those picks in for the modified class as well as the diesel super class, get those in, because once that class starts, you will be kicked out, not able to join. So head on over to Full Pull Picks right now. Get your picks in for our 2 final classes here tonight. And on top of that, we've also got the free preview on Facebook and YouTube. That's going to be ending after this next vehicle hooks to the sled. So those watching in on the free look-in, make sure you head on over to Full Pull Live and subscribe and watch the rest of this great pulling action here tonight. So James Ray on the start line. Salem, Ohio, the Mac Daddy going to be up next here as we're going to move that sled back over center spot here as we're going to go left of center. And James Ray, that Mac Daddy, we talked about the great run here the last couple weeks with this tractor. Fought their way into the Enderley and sitting right now comfortably in an Enderley spot, and that's what they were looking to do.
Hey, you're surrounded by friends and family. Act like you like them. If you guys could get a little closer together, there got people still wanting to come in here and waiting in the aisles looking for a place to sit. If you can get a little bit closer and make some room so they can get up in the stands and enjoy the same show you are, that'd be very helpful. Thank you. Look at that arrangement with the center clutch pedal. If you look up at the big screen or watching at home, it's not a left side clutcher. It's a center clutch tractor with the brakes out for it. There are a couple that way.
Yeah! What a run for that Mac Daddy tractor, James Ray.
3 flags go up for Brooke Ferris with their second tractor, the Absolutely Nuts. Case IH 7220. Gonna hunt the front here. 3:45 to change the lead. I think we may have moved that leader cone one more time. Great ride for Brooke Ferris with Absolutely Nuts. Get the numbers here in just a moment. He backs up and he's already looking at the big screen up above and waiting to see where he landed there. As most do. Wow! Look at that number over on the Pro Stock side.
Fans 367.55, new leader, Pro Stock side.
Great ride there for the Mac Daddy. As we run down the leaderboard one more time for you in Yoder Popcorn Pro Stock. And Brooke Ferris is going to have to go turn the corner and wait to hopefully hear it. He will not be able to see it. There it is. New leader on the Super Farm side 2, 349.91. 349.91. I'm joined down here by Michael Musselman, who is the Senior Vice President at Newfields Ag. Got to see you out in the pit area this afternoon, introducing yourself to some of our diesel super stock competitors. How's your afternoon been here?
It's been great. I enjoyed talking to the pullers there, and they're always appreciative of someone sponsoring their class. This is our second year for sponsoring the super stock diesel class, Newfields Ag, and we're just having a great time with it.
It definitely is something that is appreciated by our competitors. They like seeing that. They like the engagement. You obviously see something in NTPA competition that is an avenue for you guys at Newfields Ag.
Well, Newfields Ag, we're innovative. We have innovations in your fields. We work with the farmers and bring them good ROI. Competition is great, and we're out there. We provide winning products to farmers. We get really excited about that innovations, and we know farmers and people who supply farmers with equipment such as some of the pullers really work hard to do their best also.
What's it's in the name, Newfields Ag. What's new at Newfields Ag? If somebody's familiar with you guys, what you got coming down the pipe?
Yeah, so what's new is we're working real strong on our planter box biologicals. We're the worldwide leader in planter box innovation, so biologicals that help the farmer grow a better crop and greater ROI. So watch for us, take a look at it on our website.
Very good. We're going to go down trackside here to our next runner. It'll be R.J. Simon on injected funds.
All right, fans, so R.J. Simon once again going to be running here for Brent Meyer, former Grand National Champion tractor right here. Brent in the seat. Of course, R.J., the hired gun here tonight, and boy, he has done a great job, both Brandon and R.J. Let's see if we can get that 367.55. That's our mark to beat. James Ray, Mac Daddy out front. Fans, nice run there for R.J. Simon as we start to wind things down over here on the Pro Stock side.
And we'll go to the Super Farm side of the track. Eddie Rowe now in the seat of the Redweiser out of Paris, Kentucky. Substitute in for Joey Toadvine, who drove this afternoon. He's looking to have a good run of it here. As we're getting down to it, we got 6 to go in High Torque Super Farm. Our first snuff out on the Super Farm side. They get down under the Charger early. I think Eddie maybe got caught there a little bit having the full Superman t-shirt on underneath the fire suit, thinking he could turn a gear more than maybe he could get away with. You brought a guest with you to speak with us tonight. We got Violet Moore from the FFA Secretary. What does Newfields Ag and the FFA chapter put together here?
So, the FFA's been good to us. The Future Farmers of America is, I think, close to 1 million students now in that program. And we're supporting the local FFA by doing a fundraiser. So I'll let Violet talk a moment about that.
Absolutely.
Yes, so with this fundraiser, we will be going door to door, trying to get farmers to buy this new product, and all the proceeds will then go back into our FFA chapter for our upcoming events that we have, because we do events traveling throughout the state. We have upcoming national convention that we need support with financially.
Gotcha. I have a question for you. The guy I grew up doing this job listening to as a kid, he got his public speaking start in his FFA chapter, became a successful NTPA announcer for a lot of years. Now I'm doing it after learning from him. Would you ever have any interest in standing behind this desk someday?
I would. It is a very big interest. I've been coming to these polls since I was probably about 4 years old, so I love listening to you guys. You guys very much capture the crowd, so yes.
Well, I'm going to make you an offer then. This next guy in the Super Farm, you're doing it. Yeah, we've also got T-shirts that our FFA chapter has brought out with us. They're going to be throwing those out to you guys in the stands there, so be looking out for them. We're going to have them coming for you. And Violet's going to help us out with announcing the next run.
All right, fans, back to the start line here. Pro Stock competition, just 2 left to go as we've got one red one, one green one to take us home. As Chance McGrath, Lower Knoxford, New Brunswick, Canada, will be up next here with the last chance. Of course, New Brunswick right there on the Maine border. That's exactly where they are. 3 IH dealerships. Also got some other business concerns up there. Very busy guys up there. And when he gets time, he gets away, goes Pro Stock pulling. He calls it the last chance. Here we go. It's the last red one. Oh, working that left side to perfection. A winner here 1 year ago. It's going to definitely mix the order up here. What a great run for Chance McGrath.
Well, we got somebody hooked up to the sled down there. Violet, who's next?
Next up, we have Kevin McNult from Swats Creek, Michigan, running his tractor Green Energy, which is because he uses biodiesel.
I don't think he quite got to the lead spot there with the Green Energy machine, but after the battles he has had rebuilding the engine in this tractor for 2025, I think twice, he's got to be satisfied that was a get me over pass there from the Green Energy.
All right, great run right there, fans, for Chance McGrath. 350.16, and that'll put him in that number 2 spot, 350.16, but still 17 feet behind James Ray with the Mac Daddy. Wow. There we take a look at the leaderboard. Great run there for Chance. We'll put him number 2 with Lance Little left to go here in Pro Stock. And then we'll bring out the noise boys. We've got the modifieds. They'll be up next. Well, Charles, sign her up.
I'm ready to. She can come and hang out with us all night.
That's right.
There it is.
We had a 334.25, which puts him at 7th place.
Excellent job. Thank you, Violet. Michael, anything I missed?
We just appreciate the time and that we've had here tonight. It's a lot of fun. I'd like to bring the FFA in. Watch for us locally. We're going to be working with some of the other FFA chapters as we go forward, promoting Newfields Ag, and hope to see you all here again next year.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. Thank you. Michael Musselman for Newfields Ag.
Take care now.
All right, so if you see yourself on the big screen, give us a wave. We want to see you. All you great fans enjoying action here at the Sandwich Fair. And once again, if you do have a little bit of room, please squeeze on over. We do have some folks looking for some seats out there. So do have a little bit of extra room. Please move on over and make some room for these folks looking for seats out here. We've got a great crowd. Beautiful evening for pulling action. And it is hot and heavy out here tonight. We're seeing some great action here as we'll bring the Pro Stock class to a close here as Lance Little backs in out of Tuscola, Illinois, the anger management. Now, this tractor we have seen in the winner's circle. Lance, of course, a long-time puller out of the state of Illinois.
And he let something slip this afternoon. There's something in his shop that will be coming out in 2026. Another new green one called True Grit. It's coming back.
Of course, over the years, Lance and his brother Chris, how many tractors we have seen come out of the shop. Just unbelievable. Tantrum, for how many years you saw that name Tantrum on the side of so many tractors. And of course, it was good to see Lance in the winner's circle earlier this year, Rockwell, Iowa. I think we go back to, I think it was Hutchinson, Minnesota, 2016, the last time we saw Lance in the winner's circle. And of course, had a shirt on with no sleeves.
Yep.
You know, Lance,
Great
you
mark.
know that's the truth. On the anger management here tonight, Lance Little. Of course, that tractor owned by Cyrus and Dustin Wilkie out of Wisconsin. Of course, Lance out of Tuscola, Illinois, but he has done a great job on this tractor all summer long here at John Deere 7820. And we will see where that will put him here tonight, as this will be our final tractor here in Pro Stock as we'll get ready for the 7,500-pound modified. So 353.83 will take that second place from Chance McGrath. Wow, 353.83. We'll put Lance in that number 2 spot. Great run.
Well, due up next on the Super Farm side is the guy who's at number 6 on the outside looking in, and Wayne Lamore out of Boone, Iowa. He was backing in and then drove out. He's back into the staging lanes. I've got to think we're taking a drop here. He will not have a lot of time, though. With only 6 remaining in the class, that'll be it. So, not sure what it is.
All right, so we're going to need James Ray. James Ray, we're going to need you down to the end of the track, please. James Ray, we'll need you down to the finish line end of the track. We'd like to have a word with you. So James Ray going to be our big winner, 4th time in a row for James. Took a couple different tractors today to do it, but he got the job done. 4th Grand National win in a row, and that will be his 5th Grand National win of his career. So, wow, what a great last couple weeks for James.
Absolutely beautiful job, and I think looking down through things, I believe Elijah Brown and Greenwood Bend, they solidify the number 5 spot. And going to held Esden Lemke out of the Enderleys. We go to Shane Hunt out of Herndon, Kentucky, the Chasing a Dream, Case IH Magnum. He's going to stay just left of center on that starting line.
And fans, once again, if you see yourself on the big screen, make sure you're not sitting next to somebody you should not be. Just throwing that out there. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, boy. I think Shane finished number 8 this afternoon, and with Chasing a Dream, he was disappointed in the pass, and hoping to do a little bit better. Older brother, James Darren Hunt, right there to give him some last-minute instructions.
Yeah, he was not happy. We saw him come off the track, and he was definitely shaking his head. He knew he had done something he shouldn't have. Of course, these Super Farm tractors, just that little slip, little this, little that. And you know how close these tractors are.
It's like we talked this afternoon. This class, much like modified four-wheel drive, if you have one thing, even just a tiny bit off, can ruin your whole night because they are so close together. Falling 1 foot back could mean a drop of as many as 5 or 6 positions on any given night. I think he'll like that one a little bit better. He's right in there.
Once again, James Ray, if you can hear us, we'll need you down to the end of the track, please. Pro Stock winner, James Ray. If you can hear us, make your way down to the end of the track, please. So over here on the infield side, we'll get ready to go. We'll load that sled up a little bit more here for the 7,500-pound multi-engine modified tractors. They'll be up next.
334.76 for Shane Hunt. 334.76 at the number 6 spot with just a couple left here. 3, I think, is what's remaining in the high torque Super Farm class.
Hey, and we got the Boy Scouts. They're going through the crowd. They got peanuts and popcorn and water, and they got earplugs. In this next class, it's going to get loud. So be ready to protect those young, tender ears out there, and the old ears also. But it's going to get loud, folks.
All right, fans, so starting to wind down over here on the Super Farm side. Just a couple more tractors left to go. And we'll go back. Super Stock diesel pulling. Lost a couple tractors from the